This video is a submission for the Classy Whale Build-a-REM contest. The transit world has been abuzz in recent years with the opening of the Montreal REM, making an effective system out of existing tracks and some new ones. But what if we applied some of that planning to a city like Philadelphia? Let's take a look. To imagine a REM-like system, let's first go with a name. I first thought of the Garden State Express Metro, or GEM, but to align with the SEPTA Metro naming convention, the G is already taken for the Girard line. I considered calling it the Philadelphia line, but the potential to say, take the P, shot that down. I settled on the Jersey Express Metro. This name fits the theme that people have discussed in online transit circles, proposing a tunnel beneath the Delaware River while extending the Broad Street line, or B. Such a line would aim to draw park and ride customers from South Jersey, offering a one-seat ride to the airport, the sports complex, and beyond. It would use similar rolling stock to the REM and overhead power along elevated and underground rights-of-way. So let's take a look at the route. We start with a one-stop extension of the SEPTA B down Broad Street into the Navy Yard. Because of this routing through the Navy Yard, and given the remaining colors in the SEPTA Metro color scheme, we'll use navy blue for the logo. Here we'll connect to the GEM main line, which splits underground at League Island Boulevard. On a 5-mile branch to the airport, we connect to the SEPTA Airport line stations in reverse order, offering a short commute for airport patrons from Jersey, without needing to drive or take multiple connections through Center City. Back on the main line, we'll serve a stop at the sports complex and a new underground connection to Pattison Avenue to connect all 3 sports venues along with the newly renovated Mega Bar Stateside Live. The main line continues along existing and disused rail right-of-way to follow the Colonizer Boulevard before it becomes Delaware Ave and connects to SEPTA bus routes throughout the line. In order to use automated trains instead of the existing level crossings, this line will be built on an elevated viaduct. It serves stations such as Snyder to connect to spots like the IKEA, the PPA Impound Lot, the 2300 Arena, and John's Roast Pork. Tasker Morris for the Giant Supermarket, Walmart, and the infamous Chicken Pier. Washington, serving a Coast Guard station, an electrical workers union facility with an event space, and a National Historic Site. South Street for access to South Street, as well as some condos and the southernmost waterfront amenities. Dock Spruce for the Spruce Street Harbor Park, as well as the Seaport Museum and a Hilton. And Market Chestnut, providing a pedestrian connection to the L at 2nd Street, plus access to the future Penn's Landing Park, to be built on a cap over I-95. We continue to a station at the Ben Franklin Bridge. While the bridge originally included level streetcar lines on the bridge and stations built into the bridge's main support stands, which were never placed in service, those stations could be rebuilt into a stop to connect to the Patco. This station would also serve the destinations of Cherry Street and Race Street piers, plus nearby residences. As a note, Cherry Street features former Penn's Landing bus trolleys turned food trucks, including one for a personal favorite, Humpty's Dumplings. Moving north, the main line stops at Spring Garden, with another connection to the L, plus new residential and business development, including the Lucky Duck, serving this incredible sour cream and onion flatbread pie. The next stop is at Frankfort Ave, connecting to the SEPTA G and the Rivers Casino. Additional stops are at Columbia Ave for Penn Treaty Park and Berks Street, before the northern terminus at Girard Ave and Richmond Street, again connecting with the G. Back at the Navy Yard, the main line serves one connection at Constitution before moving south. As some have proposed in the internet transit spaces, the GEM would extend Broad Street south into a tunnel beneath the Delaware River. I have this serving a number of park and ride stations geared towards workers and sports fans to connect to South Philly and beyond. This tunnel would surface at the edge of the closed Eagle Point Refinery, serving the borough of National Park and the northern end of West Deptford Township. Turning and continuing through West Deptford, the line runs elevated along Grove Ave to serve the Riverwinds complex and the center of West Deptford at Crown Point Road. The line then heads into the West Deptford Industrial Park before a stop near multiple West Deptford neighborhoods, adjacent to the sizable Forest Creek apartment complex. Another park and ride would be created at Parkville Station Road before a southern terminus in East Greenwich Township. While the REM uses the Mount Royal Tunnel, the GEM will end in the section of this town known as Mount Royal. Taking a look back at the Crown Point Road station, the elevated line will split here to the Logan branch. This stops at Paradise Road before serving stations in the east and west areas of Paulsboro, both in its primary residential area and a large employment center, a refinery. Moving south and west, this branch has a station in the adjacent town, Gibbstown, before reaching its namesake, Logan Township. This town has stations near a racetrack, a neighborhood near highways and the Commodore Barry Bridge, an equestrian facility, and the town's large industrial areas. This could connect to the industrial park's circulator shuttle plus local shuttles running north and east of the complex. A future extension would connect to the main line's northern terminus at Richmond and Girard. It would continue up Delaware Ave to share former PRSL right-of-way with the New Jersey Transit Atlantic City line across the Delaware Bridge, before stopping at Pennsauken Transit Center to also connect to the River Line. From here, the line makes two stops along Route 130 in Pennsauken and Cinnaminson Townships at two of the three most Canadian of institutions in New Jersey, Tim Hortons. We'll naturally call this the Tim's line and include a discount on Timbits if one shows their ticket. As a side note, there is also a Tim Hortons at the eastern end of the Patco in Lindenwold, which will give you a discount if you flash your Freedom Card. Now, all of this clocks in at a cool $4 billion, but could provide a real connection for South Jerseyans into Philly without requiring multiple transfers or a route through Center City. Special Game Day Express services would provide rides skipping the Navy Yard on their way to the sports complex for thousands of New Jersey residents. A true airport link would be a game changer for South Jerseyans. Like most of the projects proposed on this channel, the probability of anything nearly this progressive happening is quite low. Despite the governors of New Jersey and Pennsylvania being strong transit advocates, such a plan would require a great deal of support from the Pennsylvania legislature and the Federal Department of Transportation. No sweat, right? Right? While it may never happen, South Jerseyans deserve a gem of a transportation network. Follow along for more on transit, food, and culture in the Delaware Valley and beyond.